Compatibility is such an important part of a relationship. Its importance, quite frankly, cannot be overstated. If we were to define compatibility, we could say that it is when two things are able to exist or occur together in a state of harmony and without conflict. If two things are compatible, their coexistence is beneficial and adds to the well-being of each of them. When you properly assess someone's compatibility, you can figure out what the right type of relationship is between you and them, and you can figure out what the right relationship arrangement or configuration is between yourself and that person. Many people make the mistake of thinking that compatibility is about sameness. What I mean by this is that people assume that they're compatible to somebody if they have the same everything as that person, like the same interests, the same opinions, the same strengths, the same likes and dislikes, same goals, same personality, same priorities, same beliefs, same ambitions, philosophies, passions, etc. But this isn't actually true. Compatibility is much more complex than this. Two things being the same might spell compatibility, or two things being the same might spell incompatibility. To the opposite side, two things being different might spell compatibility, and two things being different might spell incompatibility. If you would like to dive into the subject of compatibility, you can watch 3 of my videos. The first is Incompatibility, a harsh reality in relationships. The second is Accept incompatibility to avoid relationship hell. And the third is Why compatibility in a relationship is not about sameness. If we understand that compatibility is not always about sameness, sometimes it's about differences, then we can go on to grasp the idea that often an important element of compatibility in relationships is about compatible trauma. People often make trauma bad and wrong, and therefore they make anything that's linked to trauma bad and wrong, such as a desire or a behavior. They make those things bad and wrong. What people fail to see is that almost every person's purpose is backed by trauma. And trauma doesn't only play a role in the dysfunctionality, the weaknesses, and the problems of people. It also plays a role in the functionality, the strengths, and the advantages of people. If you want to understand this more in depth, you can watch my videos titled How Trauma Plays a Role in Purpose and the Trauma Healing Paradox. Trauma plays a big role, therefore, in the compatibility or the lack thereof between people. As a result of experiencing a certain kind of trauma, a person has a certain thing they need in order to heal. They also have certain desires. They also have certain strengths, aptitudes, and advantages. When two people come together, their trauma and all the things that come from it might just make them compatible to each other, or it might just make them totally incompatible to each other. So that you can understand this concept, here's an example. The first part of this example is going to demonstrate how the traumas that two people experience can make them incompatible, and the second part of this will demonstrate how the traumas of two people can make them compatible. Archer was completely ignored in his childhood. There was always something more important for his parents to be focused on. He was expected to play alone, he was not allowed to have friends over because his parents didn't want to watch their own children, much less other people's children. They wouldn't really bother to drive him to other kids' houses either, so as a result, Archer was totally alone in his pain and struggles, but he was also completely alone with his goals and his desires too. If he wanted or needed anyone for anything, it didn't matter. This gave rise to a deep desire for importance. He wants to be prioritized. He wants people to be available to him 24/7 and to be all in it with him in his life. He developed an intolerance, quite frankly, for the elements in other people's lives that compete against him for their attention. This trauma caused him to chase importance by becoming an important person and by developing, let's call it an absolute achiever personality. Archer threw his time and energy into becoming important by becoming the best. What does that mean for his today? It means that today he owns a law firm that is looking to monopolize entertainment law in his country. Lena is Archer's previous girlfriend. In Lena's childhood, she was expected to take care of her mentally ill mother at a very young age. Her mother was never in the right place to parent Lena or to meet her needs. And because of the pressure of making sure that her mom was all right all the time and not killing herself or going into a depressive stupor, Lena did not ever feel free to play. She developed incredible skills for caretaking someone and supporting them. But this trauma gave Lena the desire to be free and to do whatever she wants whenever she wants to. It essentially caused her to struggle with responsibility, and it made her want a life that is about herself, for once. When Archer and Lena came together, it was a complete disaster. At face value, Lena would be good for Archer and vice versa because she's developed such an amazing skill when it comes to supporting someone, and he has all the money to allow her to not have the responsibility of work and to play. But the reality is that Lena started to re-traumatize Archer because she didn't want to be available for him or make her life about him and what he is doing. She wanted to make her life about herself. So essentially, she just ended up taking his money and started traveling with it and going shopping with it and attending events with it. All things keep in mind that she made a higher priority than Archer. He felt used and abandoned by her. And Archer, to the other side, started to re-traumatize Lena because he didn't want her to go focus on her needs and her desires. He wanted her to want to focus on him and his needs. He put pressure on Lena to revolve her entire life around him. She felt smothered and controlled by him. They both experienced a repeat of their original traumas. And due to those traumas, they are very incompatible regarding what they want and need in relationships and also in their lives. Sage, however, is a completely other story. Sage is Archer's wife. In Sage's childhood, she was constantly pushed away by her parents. They were very poor, and they worked all hours of the day, and they found raising a child to be a burden on top of the already burdened lives that they were leading. Sage could never build intimacy with her family, and she never felt included by them. She felt alone in the world with no purpose. Picture a little girl with her big backpack on, always walking to school completely by herself. As a result, she developed a very strong sense of personal responsibility, also an insatiable desire to be part of something with purpose and included in someone's world and life. When Archer and Sage came together, they fit together like peanut butter and jelly because of their trauma. Sage started to heal Archer because she jumped out of bed to focus on him and on supporting him every morning. She had no interest in being somewhere else. She wanted to be included in every little thing. There was nothing in her life that was competing against him for attention or prioritization, and she made her whole life revolve around his. He finally had someone truly with him and for him in his life. His need to be the priority and have the attention and focus was finally being satiated. Archer started to heal Sage because he always needed and wanted her around and with him. Archer never, I mean never, pushed Sage away. He would call her into whatever room he was in, shut the door, and pour all of his most intimate thoughts and feelings out, giving her the intimacy she'd always wanted. If he was ever away, he would obsessively call and text her, and he constantly involved her in every big goal that he had, asking her to run errands for it and brainstorm about it. Sage was finally a part of something with purpose. She felt held so tight by him that all of her issues of feeling alone in the world were gone. Her need to be included and have a sense of purpose, and to be an integral, needed, and wanted part of someone's life was finally being satiated. After seeing this example, you can easily see how trauma plays a big role in compatibility or in incompatibility. Nothing creates conflicts in relationships like incompatibility involving traumas. So it could be said that if you want a compatible relationship, no matter what kind of relationship that is, find someone whose trauma is compatible with yours. Have a good week. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and consider sharing this video with your friends. You can also click on the bell icon to be notified of the next time that I post a video. I want to thank you personally for the bravery that you have to step into awareness. I'll see you in the next video.